Hi there and welcome back. Today we're going to be taking a break from some of the Tyranids and we're going to focus a little bit more on some of the Space Marines from the Leviathan box set. More specifically, we're going to be painting up one of the Terminators. I did a video a few months back on how to dry brush and speed paint Ultramarines, and today we're going to do things a little bit differently, and we're going to be using an airbrush. I purchased myself a brand new Harder & Steinbeck airbrush, one of the Evolution 2024s, for my Christmas, and it arrived last week. So I'm going to put it through its paces and see what it can do. And the goal here is to produce a silky smooth armour which transitions from purple in the recesses to blue and then all the way up to light blue in the highlights. And we're going to use the airbrush to achieve this transition. It's going to be super quick and it's going to produce great results. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to base coat the model in any black, and then we're going to come in with any kind of deep purple colour. I went with Citadel Naggaroth Night, and we're just going to blast that underneath the model from 45 degrees. And we just want to make sure we hit the entire underside of the model, including under the armpits and in between the legs as well. And this is going to give us a nice purple shade or tint to the model. Next up, we're going to apply our mid-tone, and I used Citadel Macragge blue, but any Ultramarines blue would do here. And what we're going to do is we're going to airbrush this on from the top of the model this time, and we're going to come in at 45 degrees, and we're going to try and cover as much of the model as we can, as I said, coming in from the top only. And this is going to provide us a really nice transition from the purple in the previous step to the blue we're using right now. And once that's dried, we're then going to apply the highlights to the armour, and we're going to do that by airbrushing on Citadel Teclis blue, and we're going to do this by airbrushing directly on top of the model and not from 45 degrees like we did in the previous two steps. This way we ensure we are only hitting the very top surfaces, and if you want, we can also go in and put some spot highlights on any of the kind of knee pads and the chest and also the backpack as well. And once that's done, the armour is now complete, and you should have a really nice smooth transition all the way from the deep purple in the recesses and up to the light blue in the highlights. And all that's left to do now is paint in all the rest of the details in the model, and we're going to start off first by painting in the head, the detail on the shoulder pad, and the detail on the knee pad. And I'm going to be using Vallejo Off White to do this, but any kind of similar white colour would do here. And during this process, we just want to make sure we're being as careful as we can to make sure that we don't get any brush marks on the nicely painted armour. And just keep going back and forth, applying more coats until you're happy you've got a nice smooth coverage. Next, I'm going to be painting up all of the gold areas, and to do that I'm going to be using Armypainter Speed Paints Glittering Loot. And we're not really doing anything special here, we're just trying to make sure that we get a nice coverage over the blue and be extra careful not to get any brush marks on the armour. And if you do happen to get any brush strokes on the armour, if you are quick enough you can go in with a wet brush and mop it up, but if not, you'll just have to do your best to try and touch it up and match the colour with the armour underneath. And next we're going to be painting up all of the silver on the gun, and to do that I'm going to be using Vallejo Oily Steel. I then went in with the same Vallejo Off White to paint in all of the purity seals on the model. We're then going to go in and paint up all of the black areas on the model, and to do that I'm going to be using Citadel Contrast Paint Black Templar. And we're just going to be following the same process as before, trying to get a good coverage while being as neat as possible. I'm then going to quickly go in with some Vallejo Xpress Plasma Red, but any red contrast paint would do here. And I'm going to paint in the eyes, the lens on the shoulder target, and also the purity seals. And next we're going to shade everything we've just painted, everything apart from the blue armour. And to do that I used Scale 75 Shadow Black, and I mixed that in with Glaze Medium, and that was around 1 drop of the Shadow Black to 4 drops of the Glaze Medium. And as I said, we're just going to apply this fairly liberally to everything we've just painted apart from the blue armour. And finally, I added a small edge highlight to all of the black areas on the gun, before giving the entire model a coat of matte varnish to take away the shine from the previous wash layer. And then the model is finished and ready to be based. At this stage you could take it further by adding additional edge highlights to the entire model, but I decided that I liked the look of the nice clean airbrushed armour, so decided just to leave it at that. I hope you found this video useful, and if you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment down below. But until next time, happy painting, and I'll catch you on the next one.